Welcome to the UnderMike show with Sam. Looks like you're a bit happier this time than last time.
Well, of course, better spirits this week, better picks. I mean, I go 3-0, you go 1-0. We have one of our patented sweeps.
Yes, I do have a little
big
something.
For me. Big for me to bounce back. Oh,
I mean, this is the closest thing I could find to a broom.
Not a push broom.
Maybe more as a big brush. I don't know, but
got the push broom out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week,
and it signifies not just like a 2-0 week. It's a 4-0 week.
Yeah, last week I put up that was awful. This week I'm amazing. 3-0 puts me back over 500, 14-11-1. Profitability plus 0.85 units. Only can go up from there. You were 1-0. You're 15-9-1 plus 5.6 units. As a tandem, we are 29-20-2 plus 6.45 units. So last week, I bounced back with 3 easy winners. I mean, I wish I would have parlayed.
I didn't even get any complaints from you.
There was never
any of the games. I complained about one of the games, and it was like
there really wasn't much of a question. I mean, Maryland did get down a bit, but then they came back, and they really honestly had a chance to like tie the game. Yeah. Maryland getting 19.5, Wyoming minus 13.5, Arizona +1, won by 1 trillion. Yeah. That's how it should be done right there. So
yeah, I mean, you were even withstanding the missed field goal. I mean, somehow you are bad with field goals, from what I
it's 100% against me, and I make about 25.
Yeah. But there was even field goals going the wrong way, and we were still ahead by enough. It didn't matter in the Wyoming game and the Arizona game. So yeah, it was great. It was fun when it works out like that.
Yeah.
Then I got my win with an under in the Washington game. A bit wet, a bit chilly, a bit miserable. I heard it really affected, at least in the first half, Washington. And yeah, the dude was just throwing the ball so hard and no one could catch it.
Washington didn't score in the second half. They could have lost that game. They had 22 at half, 22 final. Oregon State ran the ball well. I thought Oregon State was going to pull that one out. But yeah, an easy under win. Easy weather under. So we're on a roll now. So you're looking to keep it up, right? You already had a release earlier this week on Twitter, X, whatever.
Yeah.
K-State under 47.5. Tell us about it.
Yeah, again, funny enough, there isn't a whole lot to talk about in the weather world with this big slate of games. We got, of course, there was a couple games last night I was thinking about. The system didn't really work out how I wanted it to play it early. The Buffalo game did somehow end up going under, but that was just barely. That should have gone over. But anyways, other than that storm that came through last night, there really not a whole lot here for the week. We got some only one NFL game outside on Thursday, and then one college game, but then a big slate Friday, big slate Saturday, and then all the games Sunday. And there's really not a whole lot. There's just one small system I'm looking at that's going to have an effect for the Kansas State game. Right now, it looks like there is going to be some snow.
When is that game?
What's that?
Is that a Friday game or a Saturday game?
That is Saturday night at 8:00 in Manhattan, Kansas. So that system's going to be coming out of Colorado and pulling into Kansas. It looks like the timing's going to be perfect. It's just it's a little early to tell exactly where the snow is going to set up. It doesn't look too windy, but it is going to be cold. Teams haven't really played in a lot of cold weather this year. They haven't played in any snow this year. I definitely think it could have an effect, but more importantly, I mean, I think the line is going to get bet down a little bit. That the total started at when I bet it was at 47.5, and I've seen it now down to 45.5 already at FanDuel and 46 on other sites.
Okay.
So we got it in at a pretty good number here, and we'll keep an eye to see how the storm actually shapes up and where this total lands, and go from there. But
yeah, I was trying to find like a Thursday or Friday play for our folks, but nothing I truly loved. Although, how about that Iowa, Nebraska 25.5 total?
It's down to 25.5.
Yeah.
I just want to bet. I want to bet
you
that
would have
house
just
on the over.
Bet that under when it came out at like 29 or whatever, you'd have a nice little middle. So
who would have thunk? I mean, you see that 29. When you don't ever see a total that low, and then to actually have it come down like it did, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, what do you think? What are your thoughts on it? Can it actually stay under?
I'm going to play a teaser through one of my outs. That's a 13-point teaser. You do lay minus 130, but you get 13 points on 4 games. So on this one, I will move that total to the over. So I will be getting right now over 12.
Wow.
So it's or 12 and a half. I'm sorry. So I need 13 points, which means even 0-0 goes to overtime. You have a good chance of both teams potentially getting a touchdown there. Really, the only way you're going to lose is 10-0, 7-3, 3-0, 6-3, 7-0. So I'm keying that as one of my legs to that 13-point teaser, and then I'll look for a few others to pile on there. But crazy. I got some picks though to bounce back here. Not bounce back to continue the roll. We already bounced back. Let's get in a 3-0. So they're up on the screen here. I'll quickly go over them. UTSA plus 3.5 on FanDuel. They're against Tulane. Tulane's a top 25 team. Tulane has New Year's 6 hopes. Tulane has played a lot of very poor teams very close this year, escaped with a few, and UTSA is not a bad team. Their defense is not good, but their offense is very good, and Frank Harris is playing in his, I think, 7th year, and he's been amazing. So I think this could be an outright, but I love the 3.5 here for UTSA on FanDuel. I got Coastal Carolina plus 9.5 on Bet Rivers. Some other sites is 8.5 or 9. Bet Rivers is 9.5. I'd still like it at the 8.5, just for anybody wondering, but 9.5 Bet Rivers. That's against James Madison. James Madison just kind of had their bubble bursted in 2 ways. One, the NCAA made that stupid ruling where they can't go to a bowl game because it's a 2-year transition to Division 1A. And 2, they lost last week, their first loss of the season at home with game day there and everything. And I think they're going to have a little bit of like a bursted bubble mentality going into this game and not going to be as up for it. Coastal Carolina getting the 9.5.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, is this their last game of the season, or do they?
I think this is JMU's last game of the season, right? Yeah. So you do theoretically maybe get a little worried that they treat this as their bowl game, but I think they were busted when the NCAA was like no bowl game, and then they lost the biggest game they've ever played last week with game day there. So
I think
Coastal Carolina
mindsets just shut off like that.
Yep, like, Coastal Carolina 9.5, really like that. And lastly, Florida State minus 6.5 on DraftKings. They lost their quarterback this past week, and the only good news is that the backup did get a sufficient amount of time last week of gameplay to I think, be ready for this week. And this line would be probably close to 14, or it'd have to be against Florida if Travis were healthy. But he's done. Travis is done. His career's over. Rodemaker is the quarterback. I still think Florida State is more than good enough to get the job done against Florida. The defense is going to be – it's a rivalry, and defense is going to be fired up, knowing, hey, like, we're without our offensive leader. They're going to shut Florida down, and they're going to run the dang ball. Rodemaker makes a couple plays. They win this game. They cover.
And their defense, I mean, you saw that last week, how they stepped up and made some plays right after.
Yeah, and early on, that was one of those games last week against a terrible team where they weren't up for it, because it's one of those, like, late – they're not in the SEC, but the SEC is famous for it. Like Alabama plays like Chattanooga in week 11, and they don't care. So those are the 3 to keep this thing rolling. I really like it.
Good deal. We got 4 plays again. We're going to shoot for another sweep and keep this rolling.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll be 17, 11, and 1 when this is all said and done, and and I'm just going to keep chugging along. And then who knows? We're coming up on the bowl season where there's a lot of crazy line swings. You know, and then I'm pushing forward. We got that bad stretch out of the way from me, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready for some more weather here, and we're getting into the time of the season when I really start looking at the FCS games as well. I
yes,
remember
that's
last
right.
year with their playoffs and everything.
I'm looking forward to that.
Winners on that. So, yeah, we'll keep plugging along here, doing well, and until then, that's all I got.
All right, that sounds good. Remember, everybody, follow UnderMike626 on Twitter so you can get those Twitter/X releases. You can follow me at The Real SCAV. Have a great day.
All right, see ya.